Good morning, Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
And just like that, he's back. Good morning to you, everyone. Welcome to today, Monday, the 10th of February, 2025. I am Pearson Bowen, and I am so thankful to Pat, pharmacist. Pat, you are a miracle worker, my friend. You know, on Friday, I was still in the whisper stage. And so I went straight to the pharmacy, and I wanted a particular product that I thought should fix this. And pharmacist Pat said, no, stop. I have a couple questions for you. So she diagnosed everything. And she said, well, I actually have something that I think could be far more effective for you. And so she did her magic, and here I am. Thank you, pharmacist Pat. Indeed, thank you. I was actually able then on the Saturday to work and to use my voice to some measure. And so I'm going to take it patiently, but nonetheless, thank you all for being concerned and kind and all the rest of it. And thank you to Wendy as well for keeping you company while I was away. Now, today being Monday means we've had a wonderful weekend, didn't we? We had such a glorious time at Speightstown Alive. Were you there? And if you were not there, why weren't you there? There's much still happening in Speightstown, as a matter of fact. And we encourage you, or not just Speightstown, but also in the parish of St. Peter, to really look at the agenda of activities for the parish of St. Peter this month as they focus on heritage and engage. There's something happening every single day. As a matter of fact, Restaurant Week, they call it, where all of the eateries in Speightstown are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Every single one of them, and there are about 23 or so eating spots in Speightstown. So every day you can try something totally different. So do engage with all of the activities happening in St. Peter this month. Now today is also the day after the opening of Holton Festival. Were you there as well? And if you were not there, then I have something to share with you just a little later on as well, of a beautiful speech delivered by a beautiful young lady. I can't wait to share that with you and to celebrate her. She's such a darling. I've had the opportunity over time here at the CBC to interact with her. So I can tell you for a fact, she is a beautiful, beautiful spirit. So to you, Melissa, good morning. Stand by. Your opportunity to shine in this sunlight comes in just a little while. But I do have a question of the day, and my producer will let me know when we're ready to hit that on the road, get that going for you. And I would want you to engage with me when you do on 228-5562 or 228-5563. I can't read lips. Okay, here we go. I think we have it. Take a look at this, and then I have a question for you.
I brought you into this world, and I'll take you out.
If you cold, get a blanket. We go into the store, rule number 1 and rule number 2. Don't ask me for nothing, and don't touch nothing, okay?
Look, I hope you know your homework like you know that game.
You better shut up before I give you something to cry about.
You better beat the street lights home. Don't make me come out there looking for you.
You want to go where? To the mall? Okay, well, people in hell want ice water, but they don't always get what they want.
Pick them clothes up off the floor. Do I look like your maid? Hazel don't live here.
Your father is not a glass maker.
Don't make me get my belt.
Stay out of grown folks' business.
Don't be running in and out of my house. Either you gonna be inside or out. Letting all my cool air outside. What's wrong with you?
You want McDonald's? You got McDonald's money?
We don't have stock in Con Ed. Turn the lights off.
You better fix your face before I fix it for you.
Oh, you think I'm playing with you?
I don't know who the hell you think you're talking to.
Keep talking. Keep talking. I'll knock the taste out your mouth.
I don't care what your friends are doing. If they jump off a bridge, you're gonna jump off too? You can't go.
What I look like, boo the fool?
Any man that respects you won't keep you out this late.
That room better be clean, or you ain't going outside.
Whose house? Joe's house. Do I know Joe's mother? Oh, well then problem solved. Then you can't go. That's it. That's the end of the story. Don't ask me again.
I am the mama, you are the child.
So the question is, what's your mother's favorite line? I'm sure all of us would have had those kinds of moments with our mothers talking to us in those kinds of ways where we thought we should challenge our parents and their authority. So what were some of those lines that your mother used to drop on you? To keep you in check. Call me now on 228-5562 or 228-5563. Does your father work at Con Ed? Does your father work at Light and Power? Well, turn off those lights. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Those are the kinds of things. You know, you hear your mother say sometimes, I brought you in, I could take you out, so you better. And you know what that meant thereafter, right? So let's have some fun with you right now. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What are some of those lines your mother used to use on you? And all of us at some point had that hard-air streak in us. It wasn't just me. So don't look at me as if I am the only hard-air one in the room. You too were. And so you had those moments where you challenged the authority of your mother and she said, not in here, not in here. And once that was done, you knew you had to done it right there, as we say. So what are some of those lines that your mother would have used on you growing up? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Before we get into it all as well, I want to remind you that today is the 10th of February. You have until the 15th of February. And so you have 6 days inclusive of today to get your entry in for our special vacation. We're giving away 4 staycations for you and your bae to have a vacation. And how do you enter? Let's remind you. Take a look. All right, simple Simon made the payment. Record your video, 30 seconds to 90 seconds long, and you can send those videos in by WhatsApp to 467-5465, or you can send your email to marketing@cbc.bb. Those are ways in which you can do so, all right? Please do so. But I'm still waiting for you to tell me your question. What was your mother's favorite line? What did your mother say to you? What was her favorite line to you? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Call me NOW. Good morning. Hello.
Hi. Good morning, Pearson. How are you?
I am doing better. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I am doing pretty all right. Thank you. Good to hear you this morning.
Thank you very much. What's your first name and the parish you're watching from?
I'm calling from St. Philip, Joanne.
Hello, Joanne from St. Philip. Joanne, what was your mother's favorite line?
She would say, what are you crying for?
You want something to cry for?
You want something to cry for?
I had that too.
You want me to give you something to cry for?
Yeah, you want me to give you something to cry for? Good. You knew right away to shut up.
Shut up.
The crying done right there.
If you know what's good for you, you would shut up.
Yes. Been there, done that. Had those moments with Lolita. Thank you very much, Joanne. Have a good day, okay?
Thank you, you too.
You're very welcome. 228-5562 or 228-5563. I had that day, boy. My mother said it to me often. Oh, you want something to cry for? All right. Don't shut up. Don't you dare shut up. All right, still to also remind you that coming up today, Barbados is embarked on a National Childhood Nutrition Study. What is that study about and how can you be a part of it? And what are they hoping to gather up from that study? We'll talk to you a little bit about that in just a moment. Well, there's a week also, this week, a public lecture that looks at Barbadian women living with diabetes. These ladies have done a study, and so they'll be sharing in that lecture their findings. And how do you manage Barbadian women, your diabetes, particularly type 2? So we can't wait to hear from them, the findings thereof. Marcia Henry Chase says, until you turn your own key, what I say, here goes. So true, Marcia. Good morning to you, Marcia. How are you, Michael? Until you have your own key, and you could turn your own key, what I say goes here. So you get in here by a certain time. All right. Friday is Valentine's Day, and one would think it's natural to be able to fall in love and know how to love. Is it that natural? We'll have a love coach who helps us to navigate the feelings ahead of it, and particularly for women, how to know when you found love. Now, from a global platform to a little screen here in Barbados, Maria Marshall, boy, did we see her do well. And we've been monitoring her growth over time. She will join us as well this morning as we talk to her a little bit about her experience standing on the stage in Dubai to deliver that award to the Prime Minister. And after 40 years in the music industry, Sandra Cross is back. She's a singer-songwriter and she wants to give back. And in what ways, you will get to learn about this morning as well. So get ready, give me a call, 228-5562 or 228-5563. The question of the day, what was your mother's favorite line? What was it that she said to you? Good morning, hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm doing well, thank you. What's your name?
My name is Barbara from St. James.
Hello, Barbara of St. James. What was your mother's favorite line?
Hard days you were here, always you don't feel.
And what followed after that?
After that, you ain't got no choice. Move.
And a hard lash, right?
Exactly.
Oh, hard days you won't hear? Always you're going to feel. Bang.
Yes.
And you know right away you're going to hear. Your ears open wide. Now you will follow all the instructions.
But your disappearance right though, you disappear, you're going to get them.
I beg your pardon?
You had to disappear or the late's going to start.
That's right. Never ending too. Because she's going to give you a lash for every word. I told you.
Me first.
Listen, I was like you fast. You're going to catch me first.
Okay,
Thank you,
then.
Barbs.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good morning. Thank you for watching. We want to hear from children as well. You know, some little ones as well. Don't worry about it. It's a joke. So what were some of your mother's favorite lines? So little ones, you can call me as well. 228-5562, 228-5563. The Bible said, let the little ones suffer, let them come unto me. So come, talk to me, little ones. What are some of your mother's favorite lines? 228-5562 or 228-5563. To all of you who we've met on the weekend, thank you so much for watching Morning Barbados. It's great keeping you company, waking up with you. I hope and I thank you for waking up with us. As I always tell you, this is too good a secret for you to keep. Talk to others and tell them, lock on to Morning Barbados every morning, Monday to Friday from 6 in the morning, and share with them the fun time you've had as well. Remember to continue engaging with us on our Facebook pages as well. Make your comments. I'll be happy to hear from you. And of course, we will be connecting with you throughout the morning. So drop your line. What was your mother's favorite line? I, Pearson, M-A-B, want to hear from you. It's 14 after the hour. The time we take a break. We're coming back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
An hour of inspiration, celebration, soulful praise, and uplifting messages that will refresh your soul and fill your heart with joy. Q Gospel, Sunday at 4 p.m. on Quality 100.7 FM radio, bringing you closer to the music, the message, and the ministry. It's your Sunday moment of praise and purpose where faith meets music. Q Gospel, Sunday at 4 p.m. on Q 100.7 FM.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources. He'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Up next on Remembering School.
So what happened is that every year we would have a concert. And we would sing and you know, every end of the term, you know, you get together and I don't know how, and I'm thinking about it now, I don't know how we manage it because we didn't have no microphones, we had no drums, and just a guitar.
Remembering School, Mondays at 9:03 p.m., repeated on Sundays at 5:30 p.m.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray, microbiome, probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning. to you.
17 after 6 o'clock. Now, I did tell you at the start of the show that Barbados is embarking on the National Childhood Nutrition Study. And what is that study about? We'll get the answers now as we're joined here on set by Professor Simon Anderson. He is the principal investigator with the Childhood Nutrition Study, and he is with the director of the George Allen Chronic Disease Research Center at the UWI. Welcome, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Dr. Paula Michelle Lashley. I got that right? All right. She is the principal investigator as well. And you also work with the Department of Clinical Sciences and senior lecturer in the child health at the University at KFL as well.
Yes.
Good to have you too. And Dr. Gemma Ann Benskin, she is a pediatrician of note. She's actually a research assistant as well of the Childhood Nutrition Surveillance Study. Dr. Gemma, good morning to you too.
Good morning.
Good. So who's going to tell me what this study is all about?
Well, I think I can start there for sure. Where this started was as we started to look at children over the course of several years, we recognized that there are a growing trend of unhealthy weights. And this coincided with our trying to look at these children and the institution of the National Nutrition new program in schools. And with that, what the study is born out of is now to look at how parents and children think of their own food intake, what they normally would do, and how this now correlates to the national nutrition program that is now instituted in the schools. And that's where this whole program really came out to light.
One would have thought that by now that data was already collected, but clearly it isn't.
No, we don't have the data on the younger children. We have data on children who are at least secondary school age. And that is where a lot of the information is being grounded and founded from. So this study really is trying to interface with what happens now at primary school. So we're targeting the 6 to 11-year-olds in this particular survey because, as you know, research guides our data. Our data then helps us to make policies, and if we don't have the proper policies, we can't strategize what these children will need. So it's a stepwise progress, and we actually do not have the data for the younger children robustly collected. We have anecdotal information, we have spotty data, but we don't have the robust data we require, and that's why we're asking persons to really get involved in this, to give us that information so we can move forward with good strategies going forward.
And so, Dr. Simon, how can people get involved so you get the information?
Right, so what we have been doing over the last 6 months at least is to go to high schools and primary schools, meet the principals, tell principals of the schools about the study, and then give information via leaflets. There's also connections via Google Forms. We have, people can do it by WhatsApp. And so they can contact us to say that they're interested, and then once we have that information, then we have a conversation with mom and dad about the study and get their assent on behalf of the child. And you know, if the child's interested in getting in, then the child will also consent as well.
So it's an opt-in rather than opt-out approach. So I have to say, yes, I'm interested,
yes,
or allowing my child to be engaged in this study. And in doing so, I sign off to say I assent to this process of obtaining. Then what happens? So I've given you the permission to talk to my 6-year-old.
Gemma will tell
Gemma,
us what happens.
Sure.
What happens then thereafter?
Right, so the study is actually twofold with regards to that we do measurements, physical measurements, along with a questionnaire. So the physical measurements, some people might hear physical measurements and get scared, but there's nothing too harmful about it, and it's not painful at all. So we're just doing weight, height, arm measurements, waist measurements, and blood pressure. The good thing about this study is that if the child feels uncomfortable at all, at any part of the study, and they let us know, we will stop. You know, we want to honor them. They have a stake in this as well. And then the questionnaire, I know again, some parents might be a little bit cautious about a questionnaire, but it's a very short questionnaire about simple questions about their diet, what do they eat, for example, how often do you eat fruits, once a week, twice a week, and then a little bit about their physical activity as well.
Data. Obviously, your quantitative size of the study is important.
Yeah.
So, what have you set for yourself as what you think is a fair number of people to be studied?
We would love to have more than 1,000 children.
More than 1,000.
We would love to.
Yeah.
The reality is our cutoff should be at a minimum about 500.
Mm.
We are about 3/4, half to 3/4 in that collection. So the more, the better, for sure. And like any data set that we collect, the more information you get within the population gives you better guidance. But as said, we do have that point to which we want at least 500. We're not quite there yet. And this is why we're here today. We want to encourage parents, once you hear about this, please join us, please come. Now, the data collection, as Jamma mentioned to you, is happening in school or out of school. So we're giving parents options not only to say, well, I would like to be involved in it, and it's okay for my child to be measured or spoken to or for me to take part, but also you can get it done right on the school grounds in the school day. So some of the data collectors are going to schools to actually gather the children parents who've given consent right there in the school. And if they feel, well, I don't know if I like that, I want to be there when my child is having it, we have a second option to either see them in a polyclinic setting, in one of our other data collection sites. Right now, our data collection sites are at it used to be at the George Allen Chronic Disease Center, but it's now across the road at the Clinical Skills Building. So we have options for weekend collection and so forth. So we're keeping it as wide as we can and giving parents opportunities to be involved as much as we can.
We aim to measure up until the end of the beginning of the summer when children.
So we still have some time.
So we still have some time.
Data collection up to June.
And I'm glad you said all of this, because I don't want parents to feel too embarrassed when their child says, I don't eat well, and admit that. This is not about embarrassing the parent at all.
Not at all.
This is simply a study. Simply a study, so we get a truer picture of what we need to shape, how we need to shape our policy to be able to make your child healthier. And so it's helping you, the parent, as opposed to embarrassing you, the parent. So don't feel in any way bad for saying, you know what, I'm not going to allow my child to talk because my child will just make me look really bad. And that's not what this is about. And so who's behind this study?
Okay.
Well, Simon, you go ahead.
Well, the study is actually part of the creation of the Shaw Center for Pediatric Excellence. This is a study that's funded by a Bajan family who is interested in making sure that the children's health are on par with what it should be anywhere around the world. We have different elements of this bit of funding. Some of it involves putting instruments and equipment and tools in the QEH pediatric center or the wards. It involves doing some work in the polyclinics around the island to make sure that there's some spaces for children as well. And finally, it has done a really good job of training pediatric nurses, something that was not available in the study across the Caribbean or in countries across the Caribbean for specialist pediatric nurses to look after children. So it's designed all those things, and then the final element is to put together an opportunity to look at a survey at the health status of children. All of the work that we do is assessed by the ethics committee of the Ministry of Health and the university, so that our questions, our protocols, and everything are what is expected to be of gold standard in terms of research. And then what we'll do is we'll share the information with the country once all the data is collected. And the last thing I'll say about this, that the last time a huge study like this was done is coming up to 25 years. Really? So we are talking a lot, and Dr. Lashley spoke about anecdotal information. We're talking a lot about, we're making a lot of guesstimate about what's going on, and based on what we think is going on. But this gives us an actual bit of evidence to say this is what's actually going on in 2024-25 for the children of Barbados.
And so, Dr. Jamma, from you, where you sit as a pediatrician, you see the cases as they come to you, just for regular checks, but then you notice things are happening. What's causing concern for you at this stage, for those particular cohort that you're seeking to get information from?
Sure. Well, habits are habits, whether they be good habits or bad habits. So if a child starts with unhealthy eating habits from young, they tend to carry that into adulthood. And then that we have been seeing an increase in the non-communicable diseases as well. So if we could help with our policies from now, not probably this generation, but future generations. And we can instill good, healthy eating as a norm and not the exception. Then we can also help the future Barbados and make Barbados a healthier place.
So you're seeing children now who are presenting with earlier stages of some chronic diseases that before we would not have seen? Are you seeing a lot of that?
Sometimes, yes, we do. But we have been seeing it on healthy weights, whether it be underweight or overweight. And we know for a fact that that leads later on in life to chronic diseases.
And so this data, Dr. Paula Michelle, you know, is absolutely critical now for us to be able to gather. We know what we know, but we don't know the beginnings, so to speak. And because therefore at the primary level is where we want now to be able to gather that information. Are you going in, or would this study be looking at every single child of in the primary level, or are you targeting certain areas?
We are asking every single child to be involved.
Right.
But it's because it's, as you said, an opt-in. It's obviously not every single child will be surveyed. By the way, person, I am a pediatrician too, 30 years. And and this is something that I have been seeing over the course of my career. Dr. Gemma is one of my students too. So she's now seeing the end results of what we have been seeing gradually over the course of the last 30 plus years in this country. And it's not so much only that we think that you look like you may not be of the right, appropriate, what we would like to call healthy weight. But we're also recognizing that what people are intaking is making a consequence to how they then become as adults. And as you're seeing that non-communicable diseases, whether it's diabetes, hypertension, hypercholesterolemia, these are happening earlier and earlier. So whereas you thought this was something that happened in your 30s, 40s, 50s, we're seeing it in the 10, 20s, 30s. And that is what we're trying to target. And not so much that we're getting from parents information that you said would embarrass them. We're trying to get information on why we can't have these healthier diets. What is wrong in our society that's making this thing happen? We need to be able to guide policy to be able to make cheaper alternatives, because it's not so much saying things are bad and do nothing about it. It's things are not so good, but what can we do to inform policies to make them better? Cheaper goods that people think that are in the healthier range, giving people education of what they could or possibly eat in healthier, alternating water with sweet drinks, you know, the whole context of everything else. But I think it really is to tell the authorities, this is what we have, and this is how we can inform policy going forward.
And it's important that we know that, because it also informs the parents of what they can do as well. The child is a product of a pregnancy. And how the mother treats to her care of herself during that pregnancy produces the child she gets. And so it also, to my mind, helps with understanding in the early stages of pregnancy what mothers need to be mindful of. Would that be a fair assessment? Do you think that could come from this?
Absolutely. I mean, the old proverb says, train up a child in the way it should grow. And when it is old, it won't depart from it. And so if you have a structure of our paradigm across the country of healthy eating, physical activity, etc., then you'll have adults who will definitely carry on with that sort of lifestyle. So definitely it's part of the process of engaging with the community to say, listen, we need to make a shift here, or we need to make a shift there. And there are lots of policies that's been instituted. For example, non-smoking policy in the 1970s. And the rates of smoking in Barbados today is one of the lowest in the world. So, you know, policies that have some hope for families and for the children tend to have stronger, the benefits and impact in the long term. And if we can make get the evidence here and share and say what it is, because when we go in for the survey, we don't know what we're going to find. Right. So we're not, we're going to put behind the anecdote and the guesswork. And we measure what is measured, and we report what is measured. And that might give us the impetus to take on the challenge to change some of the ways that we have to. At the moment, Barbados has rates of chronic disease that are that's significantly higher than we should have. And what that does is that it increases the premature mortality amongst adults. Adults less than 70 years old. That increases. There's a lot of illness in that age range between 60 and 70. And if we can reduce that, then we'll increase the economic viability of communities. We'll increase the ability of people to live a stronger, longer, healthier life. And that's what this is all about.
The process is quite simple, ladies and gentlemen. The schools have the information for you to register your child to be engaged in this. If you want to be a part of that process of measurement and the study, you can say that you want to be with your child, so to help them through this as well. And perhaps in some cases, I think that's important because some children don't know how to communicate as effectively as you would want. And you don't want the child to be able to respond in an error that they did not intend to. So if parents want to be a part of it, you can indicate that as well on the form. But there are forms available for you to complete. And in doing so, you are giving your child a great opportunity, really, for there to be a change, that will see a change in the way your child's mortality, or the level of mortality for your child. And so we want to encourage as many of you as possible to engage in this practice, in this study that's ongoing. It's been ongoing for a few months. How long does each interaction take, do you think? Have you timed it?
Yeah, so each interaction usually takes about half an hour.
Okay.
I neglected to say we actually also have a questionnaire for parents if they want to as well. So we include the parents as well. So parents, please don't feel left out. And the children actually enjoy it, The children enjoy having their measurements. We give them a little measurement card at the end so that they can, take home to their parents if it's done in the school. And we also outline, like, if the blood pressure is a bit on the higher side, we will also outline that so that the parents can, at a later date, go and get it checked by their pediatrician or their family doctor.
That is so good to know. I'm so happy. I'm happy. I'm really thrilled by this. So the study is ongoing. We want you to really participate. So fill in the forms, give your consent, and let's get this study done, because the results thereof will be down to the benefit of all children in Barbados going forward. And so the policy will be put in place at the end of it, and you will let us know, please, the outcome of the study. We'd love to see the statistics. I'd love to know it. We know it for the older people. I am one of those who captured it in non-communicable diseases. I did not know it was in until I found out I was in. And so we want to let other people know that your child could very well be in that cohort of people who we need to pay closer attention to. But if you don't know, now you can find out. So be a part of the study so that we can help engage with other people and to make a big change across the board.
Remember, we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook. GIS has put out the notices, and we are giving out flyers at schools. There's a little QR code that parents can just scan with their phone to do the consent, and they'll be contacted either to get their child done at school or in another alternate place as well.
We commend this to you. Thank you so much, Professor Simon Anderson.
Thank you.
Thank you as well, Dr. Paula Michelle Lashley. I just love that they tucked the Michelle in there. Dr. Gemma Ann Benskin, thank you very much as well. And this study is important, ladies and gentlemen. We encourage you to allow your children to be questioned, be a part, opt in. It is to your benefit to do so. There is also a questionnaire for parents. Opt in to be able to do so. Let the children guide us as we go forward. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And the question of the day is, what's that one line your parents used on you, Simon?
It was learn all you can, or you'll be sorry when you're a man.
You got that right. What about you, Dr. Paula Michelle?
Well, I think my mother just used to say, stay safe every day. That was hers, yes.
Love it. And what about you, Dr. Gemma?
Well, my mom, she affectionately knows me as Jem. So when she calls my full government name, Gemma Ann Benskin, I know something's up. Yes.
You're in trouble. All right. Thank you so much indeed. Mornin Barbados comes back right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
21 now to go to 7 o'clock, and coming up on Wednesday there's going to be a public lecture looking at the experiences of Barbadian women living with diabetes. That is a lecture session I think you need to attend. Why? We're joined by Dr. Tonya Haynes, who is with the Institute for Gender and Development Studies in the Nitabaro unit at the UWI at KFIL. Good morning to you, Dr. Haynes.
Good morning to you, Pearson. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Talk to me a little bit about this study, looking at the experiences of Barbadian women. What caused you to think that you needed to have a study at all?
Okay, so in Barbados, as you know, in terms of Barbadian adults, 1 in 5 Barbadian adults has a diagnosis of type 2 diabetes. When you get to those over age 65, it's nearly 1 in 2. But what is interesting is that for women, globally, women and men tend to have about the same rate of diabetes, but in Barbados and the wider Caribbean, women have about 1.5 times the excess risk of men. So with my co-principal investigator, Dr. Nicole Charles, and we wanted to take that deep dive into women's experiences to understand what are some of those drivers of that excess risk, but more importantly, to center the voices, the stories, the experiences, the theories of women in Barbados who are living with type 2 diabetes.
No, I'm curious, and I don't want to take away the surprise from the lecture, but why is there that more women are presenting with diabetes than men?
So when you look at the medical researchers would seek to explain that in terms of physical activity and also weight. For us, as you mentioned, you know, I'm with the Institute for Gender and Development Studies, Nitabaro unit, and our focus is looking at unequal relations of gender and how those might shape women's experiences, including this excess risk of type 2 diabetes.
So how did you go about gathering the data?
So for over a year now, we have been talking to women living with type 2 diabetes across Barbados. In particular, many of them have volunteered for the study, have come to speak with us, have been very clear that their reason for sharing their stories is because they want to improve outcomes for women, improve women's health outcomes. They want to change policy. They want to be part of something larger. And so we are also seeking to honor that commitment that we have to these women who have so generously shared their time with us, you know, sat with us for 1.5 to 2 hours, giving their stories, that we are seeking to honor that commitment to them by finding multiple ways to share the research. Yes.
So apart from the fact that you realize that slightly larger ratio of women are presenting with diabetes than men, What other stunning pieces of information did you discover?
So I think there are a lot of very fascinating things that we found in that study. And for that reason, we do want people to come and join us this Wednesday at 6 p.m. at the University of the West Indies. But one of the things that I will say, as somebody who has a family history of diabetes on both sides, is that we talked about the high rate of prevalence, but there's also a lot of secrecy around type 2 diabetes, a lot of shame, and also stigma. And I would say very often, so you have this high prevalence, but at the same time, paradoxically, you actually have a lot of secrecy around it, a lot of non-disclosure around friends, family, so women not wanting to even share their diagnosis with their children or with their partners. And so for us, that was really, really significant, that at the same time that everybody, the family history in Barbados for most people is there, that you also have this silence. And then thinking about the ways in which that silence, that stigma, that shame actually creates negative outcomes for women's health. So that's one of the things. There are a lot more gems, and we absolutely want everybody to come out and hear what we have to say. It really is a public lecture in the sense that it is for everybody. So it is not pitched towards medical professionals only. It really is for everybody, and it also includes an art exhibition.
So it's Wednesday coming, 6 o'clock at the University of the West Indies. Where exactly at the university?
So we are in the Walcott Warner Theatre, that beautiful space at the University of the West Indies. And as I said, this really is a lecture for everybody. We're also going to be joined by 3 brilliant visual artists from Barbados. As you know, the art scene in Barbados is extremely vibrant. And so we've been working with Simone Asia, Lanor Aline, and Anna Gibson as part of the research. And so they have been taking these women's stories or data or analysis and have created artworks that visualize women's experiences.
That's interesting.
Exactly. So we have multiple ways for people to engage, because if we want to shift and change a culture, then we also have to be willing to engage the knowledge production in all of these other ways.
So they'll be there as well, exhibiting what they've done from the stories that they would have extracted from what they saw coming out of those stories. That, I think, is going to be a very good reason for everyone to be there to see what the visual artists were able to capture out of it. But at the lecture, apart from just sharing the data, you also want to continue the conversation. You want people to continue that conversation. No one wants to live in isolation. And as you've said, there are some people who would have expressed through those stories a bit of shame and reservation about sharing with other people. You want them to know there's a safe space to do so. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely. And one of the other aspects of the research, in addition to interviewing, some women kept diaries over a period of time based on prompts that we would send them every week. And so they wrote about their experiences. They wrote about what it feels like to live with diabetes, both what it feels like in the body, but what it feels like in relation to others, to navigating social events, family events, to also thinking about women's structural location in the economy, in the family, and some of the stressors around that. So this lecture in particular, we focus on food and embodiment. So thinking about, and very much connected in many ways to the interview that you just did prior. So thinking about how for many women living with type 2 diabetes, food is actually a stressor. One, because food in Barbados is very expensive. It's prohibitively expensive for a lot of families. And 2, the understanding what are the foods that women with type 2 diabetes should be consuming, that ongoing need for nutrition, information and education. So part of that, we understood that food as a stressor. And then, as we said, through these diaries that women were keeping about how they're feeling every day, how they feel in their bodies, how they feel in relation to each other, we're able to give a much more nuanced, textured, complex picture of women's lives.
This is going to be interesting, I think. On Wednesday at 6 o'clock in the Arabara Center for Creative Imagination in the theatre there. It's an amphitheatre, so you're going to sit and you'll hear the public lecture delivered by Dr. Tonya Haynes and Dr. Nicole Charles. And so it's for women, it's about women, but it's for the family. And so men, this is not a case where you sit back and say, well, they're talking about themselves, so let them talk. This is also for all of us, because diabetes impacts the family. while the individual is the one who might have been diagnosed with it. And so would you be at some point studying diabetes in men and how men respond to it the same way you would have done it for women?
So this particular bit of research that we're doing, funded by the New Frontiers in Research Fund by the Government of Canada, this particular bit of research is specifically about women for the reason that we outlined at the beginning, that women do have this 1.5 times excess risk in terms of women's experiences. But at the Institute for Gender and Development Studies, Nita Barrow Unit, our work is in gender and development studies. So our teaching, our research, some projects are specifically about men, others are specifically about women, some are looking at gender relations as a whole. So we do a range of different kinds of work. So understanding men's experiences is not something at all that I would rule out. And I'm sure that there are a lot of differences to what how men and women would experience something like type 2 diabetes.
That is an outcome I'd like to hear, that's true. But children also diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
Yes.
Does this study that you have done capture that information as well, the female child?
So this is this research was exclusively with adults who opted into participating and to participate in either via an interview or doing the diaries in terms of women living with type 2 diabetes. We also interviewed women caregivers as well as medical professionals. So everybody from nurses to your specialists, doctors, your general practitioners, so that we had a very full picture of the experiences of women's care. But it was not research with children at all, no.
Maybe another study to be done. So
yes.
Here it is on Wednesday, folks, when we come to the theatre to hear the responses coming out of it. We're hearing the stories told, we're hearing the not just the measurements that they would have gathered from it, but the stories around those measurements as well, because the stories sometimes help to inform where we go next. And so that's why it's important for us all to be there. It begins at 6 o'clock in the evening. It's absolutely free, right?
Absolutely free. It's a public lecture. It's for everybody. Come join us this Wednesday, February 12th, 6 p.m. in the Walcott Warner Theatre for the lecture, but also the art exhibition.
Yes.
And can I give you one more gem? The following day, on February 13th, we're actually taking the research to Q in the community. So our researchers will be there to engage one-on-one and share our findings, but we'll also be supported by the Barbados Diabetes Foundation, who will have medical practitioners who can offer nutrition advice and screening. So I definitely want to see you this Wednesday at the Walcott Warner Theatre at 6 p.m.
And if you can't be there, then on Thursday at Q in the community, we'll tell you the location, don't you panic. But it's going to be, I think, quite a wonderful exchange of information. The study is now complete. The information has been gathered, the story is told. And so you want to hear the outcome of that study, looking at the experiences of Barbadian women living with diabetes, type 2 diabetes in particular. And so, given the fact that there's such a disparity in the rates for men versus women, we want you to be there to hear how that can play out, how women are managing it, some of the concerns that women have about living with diabetes, type 2 diabetes, some of the reasons why they choose not to share it. And then we create a scenario where we're able to give them comfort to share, because in sharing we can stem the tide of the growth of type 2 diabetes across Barbados indeed. And there's the art installation as well. That art exhibition, I think, is going to be absolutely fantastic, where we see the sketches, the drawings, the imagination of some of those who would have captured the stories of the women and depicted it in art as well. Are you looking forward to this, seriously?
I am absolutely overjoyed, because as I said, these women insisted that we had to, that they wanted their stories to change policy, and that they wanted us to fulfill our responsibility to making this research accessible to the public. So we've done previous lectures, we've done workshops for women before. This public lecture I'm especially excited about, because we are bringing the art with it. The art will also be at Q, by the way. Okay. So this Wednesday and also Thursday, come and join us and learn more about this research.
And women are the drivers of society.
Absolutely.
And so it's important that this is heard, and it's heard from the mouths of the mothers of our society, heard from the mouths and the caregivers of our children in society, hear from our leaders of society as well, because they're all women. And diabetes does not care of your age. Am I right, Dr. Tonya? It doesn't matter your age, you can be impacted by diabetes. So this is not a case of adult public lecture alone. This is a public lecture for all ages. So if you're a teen and you're interested in the outcome and the results and the information, you can present yourself at the lecture as well. It starts at 6 o'clock on Wednesday. So we encourage you to gather the information, gather the data. It helps to guide your responses and it helps to guide policy going forward as well. Is there anything else you'd like to share on this?
No, I would just really like to wrap up by saying thank you so much for having us from the Institute for Gender and Development Studies, Nita Barrow unit. As you know, Nita Barrow was the first woman Governor General of Barbados, but she was also a nurse. And so this work is also honoring her legacy. So thank you on behalf of Dr. Nicole Charles and I really want to say thank you. And I really want to clarify for all Barbadians, this is a public lecture that will be accessible and that will be valuable for you to be there with us in the audience.
Very well said indeed. So, Dr. Tonya, what's that line your mother dropped on you where you were a bad behaved girl?
So this is one thing. I was a very moody and miserable child, but I was maybe bad behaved as a toddler, but I was not bad behaved. But I wanted to say this in terms of things that my mother said to me. So when I was getting ready for another engagement, I asked her if she's made clothes for me and stuff like that. So I asked her if she could iron my dress, and she said yes. And she said, I would do anything for you, Tonya. And so I wanted to bring that shout out as we're asking about things that Black moms say, is that Black mothers affirm us and love us and support us in so many ways.
Dr. Tonya, that's beautiful. That is
Absolutely.
so beautiful. Is your mom still around?
Of course she's still around.
Is she watching?
Of course she's watching.
Tell her thank
Absolutely, she's watching.
Tell her thank you.
Oh, Mom, absolutely. Thank you. My mom knows that I love, appreciate her, support her as well, and extend sincere gratitude for her. Thank you. I mean, she has also supported me in this research process as well, and even in being here this morning and getting up so early and looking this good on Mornin Barbados. So thank you, Mom.
She's raised a beautiful daughter indeed. Dr. Tonya Hayes, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
One of our online viewers actually says, Kurt Baines, he says, you feel as a man here, take down your foot. All right. My foot is down, Dr. Kurt. Thank you so much, Dr. Tonya Hayes, and all the best to you indeed on this public lecture. I wish you well.
Thank
With your
you.
upcoming studies, I'm sure there's so much more for you to do.
Absolutely. You'll see me again.
There you go. Mornin Barbados comes back right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affairs segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison Scave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
3 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock. I know you're asking, why are we asking you that question? Why is that the question of the day? Here's why. We found this on social media. We thought it was such an interesting move. We wanted to hear your responses as well. So take a look, and then I want to hear from you.
I brought you into this world, and I'll take you out. If you cold, get a blanket. We go into the store, rule number 1 and rule number 2. Don't ask me for nothing, and don't touch nothing, okay? Look, I hope you know your homework like you know that game. You better shut up before I give you something to cry about.
You better beat the street lights home. Don't make me come out there looking for you.
You want to go where? To the mall? Okay, well, people in hell want ice water, but they don't always get what they want.
Pick them clothes up off the floor. Do I look like your maid? Hazel don't live here. Your father is not a glass maker. Don't make me get my belt.
Stay out of grown folks' business.
Don't be running in and out of my house. Either you gonna be inside or out. Letting all my cool hair outside. What's wrong with you?
You want McDonald's? You got McDonald's money?
We don't have stock in Con Ed. Turn the lights off.
You better fix your face before I fix it for you.
Oh, you think I'm playing with you?
I don't know who the hell you think you're talking to.
Keep talking. Keep talking. I'll knock the taste out your mouth. I don't care what your friends are doing. If they jump off a bridge, you're gonna jump off too? You can't go. What I look like, boo the fool? Any man that respects you won't keep you out this late. That room better be clean, or you ain't going outside.
Whose house? Joe's house. Do I know Joe's mother? Oh, well then problem solved. Then you can't go. That's it. That's the end of the story. Don't ask me again.
I am the mama, you are the child.
What's your mom's favorite line? Call me now, 228-5562 or 228-5563. I looked at number 15 and I thought of my producer, Alicia As Grant. She said, if you don't fix that face, I'll fix it for you. That is so Alicia. Right, Alicia? 228-5562 or 228-5563. That's our question of the day. Someone said to me also, their mother would have said, go and bring the belt. Go and bring the belt. And that was all that was said, and you know exactly what will happen thereafter. Then Peter, who is working with me, says, I am your mother and your father. So you know what that means. You're getting double dose from that one person, the mother. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What's that? So my technical director, after asking his mother for something, would always also say to him, you know, I am your mother, your father. Go and ask him. I am your mother, your father. Go and ask him. It was so funny. The things our mothers would say to us. Good morning. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I am well.
Good to hear you. What's your name?
My name is Simone.
Hello. Simone?
Yes, please.
And Simone, where are you watching us from?
Christchurch.
Simone of Christchurch. So Simone, talk to me. What was your mother's favorite line?
Well, I didn't see the first 10, so I saw the list late. But my mother's favorite line was, you want me to give you Santa cry for?
Yep. All of us had those days.
Already?
All of us had those days. Oh, you want something to cry for? Okay, no problem, but I will give you something to cry for.
But you already gave Santa cry for.
Yeah, but you crying again. You want to shut up? So you want something to cry for. No problem. Thank you, Simone.
All right, have a good morning.
Likewise to you as well. Oh, Simone. She gone? Okay, fine. That's all right. I want to know if Simone was a mother and what was her line now to her offspring as well. So if you're a mother, call me, let me know as well. What is your line that you're using today as well? So 228-5562 or 228-5563. Good morning. Hello. Okay, they're going to come back
Hi,
to me.
good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
What's your name?
I'm Hazel.
Hi, Hazel. Where are you watching from?
St. Michael.
Oh, Hazel of St. Michael. Hazel, what's your mother's favorite line?
I got all the tricks in a box under the bed.
So you can't trick her, right?
No, not
She
at all.
has all of those same tricks in a box under the bed, making
Yes,
sport.
please.
So are you a mother?
Yes, I am.
And what line do you now use with your children?
Well, with my daughter, I tell her the same thing.
Oh, you got all the tricks.
And also, you ain't sure
What does that mean?
that she ain't sure. So don't play.
Don't play with me because you ain't sure. If you were so sure, you would know don't play with me.
All right, then.
I got you now. All right then, Hazel. Thank you very much for calling, all right?
No problem.
Have a good day. You're welcome. Good. So you just popped something on the screen. I didn't quite see it. Sorry about that. Could you share it with me again? Roosevelt is saying, I love them all. The mums put those things right. And you're right, Roosevelt, boy. Your mother had some amazing things that she would say, and you got it. You got it instantly. Instantly. Oh, you think I born big? You really think I born big? Or you think I was born yesterday? You can't trick me, in other words. You cannot trick me. So all those things our mothers would say to us. But you can call us anytime you can throughout the morning, and we'll be happy to interrupt and share what you have to offer as well. The things your mother would say. We're coming right back after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
4 minutes now after 7 o'clock, one of the island's main arteries on the eastern side is on its way to being repaired. Phase 1 of the Highway F from Newcastle to Bath in St. John will soon be completed under the Scotland District Road Rehabilitation Project. Rachel Agard has that story.
Motorists using the road from Newcastle to Bath have been complaining about several issues, including poor drainage. But Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Transport and Works, Santia Bradshaw, and other officials have toured the area to get a first-hand look at the upgrades. Ms. Bradshaw says teams from the China National Complete Plant Import-Export Cooperation team and the Ministry of Transport and Works have been working to fix the problems.
They have tried to take the water off the road because what happens is that the heavy rains as well as the water from the springs tends to have a way of deteriorating the condition of the road. So they have put in a number of different retaining structures to be able to allow the water to flow easily off of the road and naturally go through the various gullies along this particular stretch. They have also widened the side of the road to ensure that it's more comfortable for not only our new buses, but also for commuters to be able to travel easily along the pathway of the road.
Project manager at the MTW, George Holder, says Phase 1 started last May and the 2.5 kilometers of road repairs should be completed by July. He says the road was too narrow in several areas and had to be widened by 6 meters, and work is ongoing in Glen Burnie as well. Meanwhile, Ms. Bradshaw says repairs to Welsh Village will be moved from Stage 3 of the existing Complant project and upgraded to Stage 2.
We've also had MTW look at clearing some of the areas on the sides of the road in Welsh Village. So that should be starting very shortly. And then that Welsh Village connects to Pot House, which, as you know, we would have done the road works and rehabilitation of the first phase of Pot House. The second phase was never started primarily because of the complexity of the road and that it had to obviously have to be properly designed. So that has also been placed within the Complant project so that those designs can start to be done with a view to bringing some relief to the rest of the residents along that road.
And Mr. Holden notes residents in St. Margaret should have a new road within 6 months, weather permitting.
As a road, it is not in the worst condition, but because we are installing new water mains there, the opportunity was taken to actually rebuild the road. The water mains have to be laid in the road because there's nowhere else to lay them. And since we're doing that, it made good sense to rebuild that road. And I think we started that a couple of weeks ago. And with some good weather and some good luck, I think we should be able to complete that in maybe 5-6 months.
These repairs are among several ongoing projects to improve the island's road network. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
An attractions competitive study of the tourism sector is nearing completion, and that's the word from the Minister of Tourism and International Transport, Ian Gooding-Edgill. The findings, he notes, will be shared with players, including the Intimate Hotels of Barbados. And as the tourism landscape evolves, the chairman of the Intimate Hotels of Barbados, Shireen Mathlin-Tulloch, says significant challenges still exist for the small hotel sector. These unique hurdles, she says, are not faced by larger chains.
In facing these challenges head-on, we must be determined to adapt, pivot, and support one another to ensure our sustainability. Succession planning for small locally hotels is not discussed very much. But as we celebrate 25 years of success and growth, it is important that we look not just at where we've come from, but where we are heading. Many of our members, small hotel owners who have poured their hearts and souls into their businesses, are reaching a critical juncture. Many of them are at or are nearing retirement age, managing their operations single-handedly without the help of teams comprising specialists in the areas that larger hotels would have.
Ms. Mathlin-Tulloch says and wants properties to support participation of young people.
Through internships and mentorship programs with IHB Properties and hands-on learning. It is essential that we build a strong network that connects youth with the tools, resources, and opportunities they need to succeed. By forming partnerships with educational institutions, government programs, and industry leaders, we can create a robust pipeline of young talent ready to contribute in all areas, at all levels, to the future of tourism in Barbados.
Bit of sports now. West Indies white ball captains Rothman Powell and Shea Hope starred with a bat as Dubai Capitals lifted their maiden title in the International League T20 in Dubai as they beat the Desert Vipers by 4 wickets in the final. Chasing a challenging total of 190 runs, Hope and Powell stitched an 80-run fourth-wicket partnership, with Powell smashing 63 and Hope adding 43 as the Capitals finished on 191 for 6. Sikar Razab made a vital 34 not out at the end. Here is a look at those innings.
Tops it on! David Payne is a pain for the Capitals. Oh, now then, yes!
That's a look at news until now. We'll have more news at 12 noon right here on CBC TV 8. Morning Barbados comes back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game with Domino's. I sing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
You know why? Good morning to you.
7 o'clock. I want to know what love is, don't you? And there are many people who are still in search of love. Friday being Valentine's Day gives us an opportunity this time now to focus in on what love is, particularly for the woman. And so we thought we should have a love coach who joins us now online. Good morning to you, ma'am.
Hi, good morning, Pearson.
Good to see you. I'm having a challenge in pronouncing your first name. Could you say your name for us?
Shrishta.
Shrishta.
Ta.
Am I right?
Shrishta, yes, the audio broke a little bit.
Okay. Now, you are a love coach. What is a love coach?
Okay, well, I'm an emotional intelligence love coach and quantum journeys hypnotherapist. And what I do is I help successful high achieving women over the age of 35 magnetize in self and soul love.
How interesting is that for you, really? How do you do that? How do you help me know or her find what that love is?
Well, we have been programmed to believe that attracting love or getting love follows a certain formula, in that, especially for the woman, the man goes through it too, but like for the woman, you are told you need to look a certain way, you need to put yourself in certain places. You really need to, especially for the introverted woman, sometimes just be who you are not. And we are told that that guarantees love, but what that is really teaching you is how to avoid being lonely based on a fear of not having financial security and not having partnership in life. But attracting soul love in particular actually has more to do with being authentically you, which we are not taught to do. So when you are able to be authentically you, what happens is your body attains a vibration that is closer to your soul's vibration. And when that lines up, what then happens is people in your soul tribe, your soul mate, or even if you have a twin flame, it's like an energetic calling is sent out to them that this person in their life is understanding who they are living authentic to them, they are living their purpose, and it's like she's ready to reconnect with those in her soul tribe, and then use that as a platform to create even more in the world, depending on your soul purpose. So we think that love is something that's out there, but it's actually within you. And the more you are able to love yourself and create love within yourself for who you are, you align with that vibration of your soul, and that magnetizes in soul love.
I'd like you to walk me through the process then of that introspection so that we find who we are and our soul purpose. Because life is a stage and all of us are merely actors on that stage. So how do I get out of my acting skin to authentically walk in who I truly am?
Yeah, I love how you put that. Life is a stage. We are here playing a game, taking on a costume, a mask, which is the body, and So in the beginning of life, we are programmed, right? So you are programmed according to your family, what your family would have taught you, what you see in society, what you learn in school, what you learn in magazines. And you take on this programming. So for the woman, this continues up into her 30s. In your 20s, your brain is still forming. You are still in people-pleasing mode. And then in your 30s, what happens is you start to question, is this who I really am? For a man, it happens closer to his 50s. So for the woman, when you start to question, in order to really connect with yourself, first of all, you have to be confident in following your intuition, the messages at the back of your mind. People refer to that differently. But what happens is when we have intuitive hits or messages, we are programmed to dismiss them with our conscious mind. So you may have a feeling, let's just say, to take up playing an instrument. And then with your conscious mind, you will say, no, you don't have time for that. No, I have other things to do. No, that's too hard. But to really connect with yourself, it has a lot to do with following things that drive you, following things that excite you, doing things that don't make sense. So for example, for me, I'm actually very educated. I have a bachelor's, I have a master's. I was busy living corporate life. And then I got an intuitive hit or a message that I wanted to help women. And I was kind of guided because one of my friends was in a domestic abusive relationship. And I just thought I was wrong. I had no background in psychology. I just knew that was wrong. And I started talking about mental and emotional abuse. And in doing that, that opened a path for me to talk about women and their emotions and how there are little messages. And this is way before I knew anything about love coaching. And then that opened a path for me to meet a love coach who was actually born in Trinidad, but she lives in Canada, and I studied with her. And in studying with her, I recognized in my life who my twin flame was. And again, in doing that, I understood by really connecting to myself how he was naturally just pulled back into my world without me really having to do anything. So to really connect with yourself has a lot to do with following your intuition, following the things that drive you, not letting your conscious mind or your friends or people in your life tell you no, that don't make sense, and really being brave and confident in the things that you want to do, knowing that it fills your soul, not really having an expectation on how is this going to help me, but just being in that moment and loving that moment and filling your soul in that way.
You know, then you're a bit of a rebel of sorts, because you're rebelling against societal structures, you're rebelling against what people plant for you as your path. You're rebelling against the fact that, you know what, society also says by this age you ought to have or you ought to be. And so you're saying to me, be as carefree as the little youngster within me, that little child, now authentically find my space through love. Am I reading you correctly?
Yes, that is, I don't consider myself a rebel. I consider myself someone who holds your hand to lead you back across the bridge to who you really are. And I would like to think I do it in a way that is empowering to you, that is loving to you, that you feel safe, because I don't really like to dismiss the programming, because that programming is what is helping you to develop the skills in order to make your contribution. Carl Jung, who I'm sure you know is a famous psychologist, he described life as being in two phases. The first part is your schooling up to like your 30s, and for men it's a little bit later on. And the second part is where you really figure out, okay, yes, this is who I am. I learned this when I'm small. I'm taking this with me, but no, I'm not taking that with me. And you are able to put together who you really are in this world, because all of us are unique. No two of us are the same. And you're able to create who you want to be and move forward with that. So, I mean, I don't really like the word rebel, but I'm not a confrontational person. But I like the word change. I like the word transition. And on earth, we are really moving from that age of materialism to the age of frequency, which is what love is. Love is a frequency. It's one of the higher frequencies. And I like to think I'm a change worker helping to foster that in.
Well, the word rebel was that you are one who, not you necessarily you, but one has to almost say, I'll deny what I know, because what I know sometimes helps me, keeps me back. But in trying to be able to find my own emotional space, at times you can get it wrong. And so you find yourself encountering moments with other people who are not on the same plane at the same time. So how do you recognize when you're getting it wrong, one, and then how to pull yourself back from when you're getting it wrong?
Okay, well, if you're getting something wrong, I know, again, we are programmed to think that failure is bad, but it's really just information. So if you feel you're getting something wrong, it's just information that, okay, this is not for me, maybe I need to try something else. And that is when your self-worth and your self-concept comes in, because you have to be strong enough in yourself, you have to know what you deserve, and you have to know your worth to say, you know what, this is not a fertile ground for me, this is not a good situation for me, and be strong enough so that you are able to leave that situation or draw boundaries depending on what the situation is. But it's really more about looking at the data that is before you and understanding, is this where I want to be or is this not? And if you don't want to be there, that's okay. And if you want to be there, that's okay too. But once you are firm in your self-concept and who you are, it gives you a better footing to make decisions that are good for you, as opposed to giving away your power in the hopes that something that is not serving you works out.
So it's important in any relationship, firstly, to know who you are, to be strong in who you are, to be able to say, this is who I am, and if you can't live with it, basically, you are not for me, or somehow we're not connecting on the same plane. And to be able to discern when those situations occur and get away from it. Basically, as one of the people from your Twin Island Republic would say, run away, singing Francine, you know? Run away, if it doesn't fit, you quit, basically, you get away from it. And so being emotionally sound is important when it comes to handling your way through a relationship, to be able to find the right connection at the right time with the right person. Is that a good wrap?
Yes, so, well, I would say understanding your emotions and how to regulate. So we all experience emotions. Like my mentor, Annie Lala, she says, love is the white prism of emotions. So it's just like when you shine light through a prism, you get all the colors of the rainbow. When you shine love through a prism, you get all the emotions. And experiencing all the emotions is actually experiencing love. Even the anger, even the sadness, even the bitterness, all of that is experiencing love. And not judging those emotions, just seeing it as data and understanding what it is telling you, because there's an intelligence behind every emotion. And then learning when that emotion is affecting your nervous system, how to regulate yourself. That is a really strong basis for a healthy relationship.
That is such beautiful advice indeed from our love coach, Ms. Tawari. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm hoping that as people listen, they begin to introspect and find that little space that says, you know, I just want to be my normal, natural self. And because so many of us have that battle every day, being their true, authentic self. Be that, and you will find love in so many different ways. Thank you so very much for joining us today.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome indeed. All right, we'll take a break here. We're coming back with more on Morning Barbados in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hello to everyone. I'm Maria from Barbados. When I was 10, my Prime Minister took the time out of her schedule to meet with me and give me a platform to spread my message. Thank you for honoring her bold efforts to bring equity in climate justice for the entire world. Whether it be working to create institutional change or being on the ground with the first responders after Hurricane Beryl hit, my Prime Minister inspires me to be a strong leader within my community. As a UNICEF youth advocate for the environment, my work educating others on climate action is recognized by her. The work that she has done has paved the way for me and others like me to fight the global climate crisis, and her individual support is invaluable. The Honorable Mia Amor-Motley and I can both agree on this point, that we only have one environment and we must protect it. Thank you.
Feel as if this is my child talking to me, and I'm so proud as a daddy today. And so, Maria Marshall, good morning to you. You know, we met virtually so many years ago, and one of the things when I came back to the show was, where is Maria Marshall? I asked the producers, we got to connect once again with Maria Marshall, and then lo and behold, there you were in Dubai. How does that feel?
Well, I feel very honored that I was asked to be there in the first place. Honestly, it feels like a strange kind of dream because how I got there, it feels like it's too good to be true.
Yes.
And even still, the experience is very shocking for me. It was also very cold.
You know, I thought, oh my word, this little girl, not even 5 feet tall yet, is on that big stage, facing huge people from around the world, facing a global audience. Did any of that cross your mind while you were there or standing in that spot?
Honestly, I got a little nervous because I had to walk backstage, and also the cold was causing me to actually start moving, but I was like, okay, I have a country to represent, and people back home are watching me. My mom is watching me.
Yes.
I have to make sure I'm not shivering on stage, and I got it, and I said my speech, and I did well.
Could you see the Prime Minister while you were speaking about her?
Yes, I could.
So watching her no doubt gave you all sorts of inspiration to continue to press through it.
Yes.
But I mean, talking is nothing strange to you. You are a young lady who has been advocating and advocating strongly for a long time. And I know you're wearing your pin with the
Sustainable
Development Goals,
yeah.
right? And so wearing that proudly, what does that mean to you to have that pin, to be one of those special people who have the honor of wearing that pin?
Well, for me, it's a very important thing. And, you know, throughout the years, I've met other youth advocates and they advocate for other stuff as well. And it really helps to, like, tie in the importance of how, you know, we are on the front lines of climate change and we are getting affected by these things. And we really have to do something about it. And I'm very honored to be picked as one of the people that they feel like I'm doing something and that I can make a change.
Did you at any time feel as if it was just my voice alone? Why are other people talking about this like me? Did you feel that way sometimes?
No, I never felt that. I felt proud that, you know, there are other people working alongside me, so I don't have to do all the heavy lifting. And I think that's great because I don't think a random child should just have the world essentially on their shoulders. It's nice that other young people get to give their perspective. And I think that is how we really are going to help fight climate change and make a difference.
Now here it is, UNICEF has adopted you. They've made you now one of their youth advocates. How did that come about?
When I first started my advocacy, I was driving with my mom, I think, to lessons at that time because I was going to do the 11 plus. And someone carelessly littered throwing a bottle out of a moving vehicle. And my mom had to swerve because she thought it was a glass bottle. And, you know, because I used to think that everyone was environmentally friendly, like my parents, so this popped that bubble for me. And at that time, my dad was actually teaching me how to film with my little red camera that you've probably already seen by now. And I combined my ability to write stories in composition, my ability to film videos, and I made my first ever short film video, Little Thoughts of Big Matters, entered it into NIFCA, and then suddenly I became a UNICEF youth advocate. Well, no, UNICEF change maker first, and then they recognized me, and I spoke to the actor Orlando Bloom, and then I spoke to the Prime Minister. She recognized my actions, and then everything started to snowball from there, and then I became a UNICEF youth advocate for the environment. I think I'm actually one of the youngest ones too. So,
and I mean, that's quite an honor. Quite young you are, and still you're making these big waves for the globe indeed. How did that call to come to Dubai happen? Did you receive a call, an email? How did that happen?
From what I was able to grasp of the situation, because there was a lot of back and forth between my parents and stuff. What happened was, I was asked by, I think it's the Parachute Studios people, to be in the Prime Minister's video for the actual thing. But when I eventually went to go do the filming for the video, because I did that, and then after that we had to get out of the rain because we were at the beach and stuff, and it was starting to pour. The guy, one of the studio people, I think it was the director or something, actually came in our car and told us, hey, do you want to go to, I think, Abu Dhabi to be a part of the actual ceremony? And I was like, I wasn't able to actually grasp what was going on because I already thought it was a big deal to be just in the video.
Yes.
But to actually be a part of the ceremony, I was like, wow. Me and my dad were like, oh my goodness.
And the decision was made right there. Yes, you're proud to do so.
We had to wait a little bit because I had to make sure that things are sent out to my school and just make sure that everything was set and that this was not like a scam, because it would be kind of strange in a foreign country. No real way to get back, so we had to make sure everything was legit first because it happened a little bit too quickly. It's too good to be true. Yeah.
But you're living such a storied life, though, Maria. Yeah, I know. So when you how old are you now?
I'm 15.
She's only 15, and you behave like you're 50. You know, the way you think, the way you express, which is fantastic. So when you look at your little life now, 15 years old, and the things you've been able to accomplish, how do you describe what you've been able to do?
I think it's very crazy how I started, because I kind of came out of nowhere. I don't even think, because UNICEF found me basically, and then everything started to go from there. I wasn't my honest intentions were not to go up on the big stage and stuff. I just saw something wrong, I acted on it, and I guess people saw that I had good intentions, and they were like, okay, let's put this person on, let's put a stage for this person so that they can spread their message. And I think that is really how I kind of started. It's really crazy.
Is this something you think that you will continue to do for the rest of your life? Advocate for us to pay greater attention to climate and the environment?
I will always be a person that will do well for the environment, and I will always encourage other people to do the same, whether by leading by example or actually making changes. But I do think that there are other young persons with their own view on the message. So I think as I mature, I will move on to other things. Maybe I want to become some form of doctor. I get into medicine, I like the sciences. So I think I will leave the stage for someone else to take up my place. And I think that is important as well, because you can't go kicking on the ladders. I remember the Prime Minister, I went to some other event in Abu Dhabi where she was talking about bringing up other people. I will definitely make sure that someone else comes in and I give them a platform, just like how the Prime Minister gave me my platform, so that they can also share their unique point of view on climate change.
And how are you going about finding the next young person who is as passionate as you are to be able to continue the advocacy that you had started?
Honestly, as I interact with a lot of different people, whether at school or maybe like when I go overseas to other events, I see a lot of young people that I can work with, and by networking with them or adding them into videos and stuff to try and give them a spotlight in my own way, I help to push them as well, because I seem to understand that people kind of do like me, so if I can bring along someone else, maybe they might get some spotlight too.
We don't just like you, we love you, Maria Marshall. I mean, you just dampen it. No, girl, take your light. And so, when you finished your presentation on the stage in Abu Dhabi, was it who went with you? Which of your parents were? Your mommy? Or
My
your
dad. My
Your
dad went with
And
me.
so you walked off the stage. By this time, the nerves had quelled a bit. Who did you go to first? Daddy? And
I had to go backstage in that area to go get my stuff, and I also got a blanket because it was that
So cold.
And my dad was sitting behind me, and I was actually talking with the Prime Minister's assistant, and you know, she was telling me that I did such a good job. You know, who else could make the Prime Minister just suck a punch in the air? They're very proud of you. You did very well.
Yes.
And then my dad came, and my dad was like, "Good job, Maria. You know, I was so scared for you out there. You did it. Yay!" And I was just kind of like in a daze because, wow, I did it. I didn't make a fool of myself.
Yes, you did it, and you did it so flawlessly, and you did it with such passion. We heard the passion, we heard the sincerity, because that's one of the things I like to listen for. Yes, you can deliver well, but is this coming from a place of sincerity? And yes, it was. And I was so happy, and you could see on the look of the Prime Minister's face when you mentioned her and her contribution and the work she's doing. She was proud of you. That the leader of your the country from which you come is so proud of you. One of our commenters on social media says, "I'm very proud of you," and he said proud in a big way. See it right there?
Yes.
Proud of you, Miss Marshall. And that is Barbados. Well done, Maria. Your journey continues from Caron Olivier. People are talking about you. And they're talking good things about you. Marcy Ross says, "Congratulations to you, Lady Maria Marshall." And so we're all rooting for you. Oh, the comments are coming in, Maria girl. What an exceptional young person. Congratulations to you, Maria, Patricia Ben. These are all of our people who are online watching you right now. And they're immensely proud of you. How does your school respond to your being there? And when you came back, what happened?
I did not get to go to school yet. I actually have to go to school for the first time now. So we will see that.
Got you first.
Yes, you did actually. But my friends online were watching the thing and they're saying, "Yes, Maria, you did it." My friends were very proud of me, and they were sending me the notes, and I was able to get work done while I was on the trip.
Yes.
So now luckily I don't have to do a big rush too much to go try and get my notes and stuff for school, because that's still very important. I could be jet setting around the world, but I still have to get my education.
That's right. That is
Yes.
right. Have you had a chance once in a while to go back and look at your first video?
Yes, actually. And I've seen how I've grown in my ways, even in my videos and even in the things that I do actually to advocate. I've slowly been progressing forward. Originally, I started with a short film and I made a bunch of other videos I post on Instagram and YouTube. But then I slowly started to creep into the actual real world. And I have made, I don't know if you call them, well, I guess you could call them projects at this point in time. Blue, green, and everything in between, which has several other things. I don't know if you've heard about this, but I actually got 2 schools to decorate an entire Christmas tree for the Commonwealth Society.
Yes, in town, yes.
Yes.
I remember.
And I was very happy to see the joy in the children's faces as they got to see their art displayed in the form of this Christmas tree. And it inspired so many young people to just be like, wow, we did this and we were helping the environment. I think that this environmental stuff is pretty cool, because I think sometimes when people go into schools and talk, there's a little bit of like corruption of ideals when people try and greenwash things to sell a product. I really, really don't think that is how we go about things to help fight climate change or protect the environment, because it could cost children, because we pick up on things. We're not dumb. You can't just sell to us, because I know the whole goal of this is, "Mommy, can we please get this product?" But we're not dumb. We think that then we'll need to start thinking after you've come and done that in our school that, oh, these people just want to sell us stuff and it's not legitimate. I believe that we really need to stop with that, because it's causing certain ideologies like, oh, I'm not going to clean up after myself after I litter. That's not my job, which I think is a really big issue. And, we really need to understand how when we go in and we talk to these children about these things, we actually leave an impact. And I think that we need to make a good impact.
Maria, you take my breath away. I want to show folks now, if they don't remember, your first video. And I want you to take a look at it as well. I want to see the changes that you're talking about. Take a look with us, ladies and gentlemen.
We're making this thing seem difficult, but let me show you how easy it is to reduce, reuse, recycle, and repair. Recognize these? These are the great crates. And this is a moldy bottle I have been reusing to water the lettuce. My mom loves lettuce.
Alright, Maria, hurry it up.
Yeah, we don't use plastic bags anymore. We use these reusable bags instead, so we can reduce the amount of plastics we throw away. And yes, this is my chore to remember to bring these bags. Everyone appreciates a nice cool drink in a glass bottle. However, don't forget to recycle. I mean 25 cents per bottle? I don't mess with my piggy bank money. Don't just throw things away, repair them. By the way, I love this bag. See how easy that was? We can all reduce, reuse, recycle, and repair.
Boy, oh boy. Maria, you saw yourself there.
Yep.
This little girl. And now you're developing into a lovely young lady. Talk to me about what, I mean, I know the message is still true today, but when you looked at that and your growth over time, how do you feel?
Well, I feel very proud of myself, and I'm honestly a little astonished as to how well I'm still here, because I figured by now I'd still be het up with school.
Yes.
I am het up with school, but I've actually learned to balance really well my school and this stuff. It's quite difficult. And I'm proud of how my messages, because I have many at this point, I've branched off into many different things. You know, I could have a little thought on a lot of different matters, and honestly that was something the Prime Minister was saying when I actually first talked to her, that it could be anything. I could have something about climate change, something on mental health. Climate change branches off into a lot of different stuff. Climate in the environment, climate and sports. The environment could be anything as well. And I think it's really amazing how I've been able to advocate for a lot of different things in such a short period of time.
So what are some of those other things that you advocate for?
Well, I've made videos on climate and sports,
Right.
and I really did try to push up some other people to do with mental health, and I'm really proud of the collaborations that I made with other advocates. When I was asked to go to New York, I met a lot of different advocates, some of them who are actually facing wartime right now, and I was able to give them a little bit of support. Maybe I would not be able to do a lot of the big stuff that adults can, but a little text message every now and again could go an actual long way. And I think that that is one of the things that I kind of truly represent. Anyone can be an advocate in their own way. It doesn't matter how big, whether they go out there with their placards or their megaphones. You can spread a message in your own unique way, and that is what actually will help, because everyone has their own perspective.
You know, life is like the sea. It goes up and down from time to time. Children do so much better with great support from parents, etc. I've seen Maria grow, and right beside her is her dad, her parents, indeed. Team woo. I don't know what the rest of that sentence is going to say. Karen, thank you so much. But you know, because life is like that, sometimes you feel as if you're getting over the top, and then you hit a valley and you wonder, oh my goodness, is this really worth it?
Yes.
How do you keep motivated and stimulated so that other people feed off of your energy?
Well, one thing that I think my parents really did instill in me is a good set of values, and I also have a relatively good set of self-confidence, and I'm able to share that with other people. When I see my friends a little upset at school, I try and make them feel better. I know how to, because my mom's a counselor, I kind of know how to, I have a certain level of emotional intelligence, so I could communicate with people when they're feeling down. And my dad also gives me some moral support. That's why he comes with me on these trips. And my mom is a very good person. She always tells me, you know, you're doing great. Keep up the good work. Even when I'm feeling down after, you know, I've had so many tests and I'm feeling just like giving up. But my parents always motivate me to do better. And even when I have interviews with other people, that is also a source of motivation for me, because it's nice to see that, well, people actually care.
We really do care indeed. Do you think other young people like yourself are getting the message? And are you seeing any change in behavior since you've started advocating in the way that you have?
Yes, actually, I've spoken to St. Christopher's. I'll talk about this one because I think this is really interesting. Sometimes children, initially, they listen, they feed off of what the adults say. So if the adults are saying, I'm tired of this, the children will reciprocate. So that was kind of happening at one point at St. Christopher's. But after I was able to speak and the children kind of sensed that, oh, she's actually interested in this, so maybe I should follow along. I really saw a change in the children, and they actually wanted to come and take pictures with me. And, they gave me a little high five and stuff, so they were interested, and a child actually came up to me and I think asked me, I don't really remember what it was, but they asked me, so what do you do exactly? They were really interested in what I was doing, so I told them, and they told me, well, I want to see you again. Yes. And also I went to a summer camp where I spoke with some children, and they were really excited to actually see me at the beach cleanup after I had done my chat with them. And they were like, and it was really interesting to see that some of the stuff that you are talking about is actually happening, and there's so much garbage on the beach, but we're going to clean it up and try and make it look better. And I felt so happy to see that young children were interested. And even on a secondary school level at Grade C and Harrison College, I invited some of my friends, and some of them may not have been as interested in climate and the environment as me. But I was able to change that a little bit. And at Grade C, I met with some of the wonderful students there. I even got to see the tourism minister, Haley, and she was really nice too. She came to see my tree, and it was nice to have a little conversation with her about the environment and stuff, because we had to drop her home, and that was really fun. It was nice to see that everyone from a bunch of different schools and a bunch of different age groups all got interested in the environment.
Are you happy with how this island, and I'm looking at policy now, has been able to respond to climate and climate change? Or do you think there's more that our government needs to be able to do to be able to enfranchise people to do more?
Honestly, I don't really get into politics or that kind of stuff. I'm mostly just like, a child. But I think one thing that we need to do is we can always do more. We're doing really good. We have our roof-to-roof projects and the other stuff that the Prime Minister set up. But I think we tend to hide behind, we don't put out a lot of carbon emissions. A lot of climate change and the environment is not necessarily just carbon emissions. There's a lot of stuff you can still do on the island as a normal person. The same idea of, I'm not going to pick that up, that's not my job. That's one thing that we need to change. Another thing that we need to change is, let's be honest here, small island, tiny roads, big car. Doesn't make sense. 2.2-ton truck on a limestone island, that's damaging the roads. And if we need to get the roads fixed every now and then because we have these heavy vehicles on the roads, we are going to have to import a lot of asphalt, and that's going to cause problems for us. So if we have smaller cars that are lighter and more efficient as well, because there are a lot of good small cars out there that are really gas efficient, that would help us in two ways. You save money on your gas, and also the roads get cheaper. Well, the roads don't have to be repaired as much. And things would run a little bit better on the island itself.
Maria Marshall. You heard it from Maria Marshall. So if you see it being implemented by anybody else, it was Maria Marshall's idea first. Maria Marshall, I am so immensely proud of you. You know this because I've said it to you so many times. Keep doing well what you do, Maria. You make Barbados very, very proud to know that you are a shining light for the whole world to see. And when we saw you on that stage, Barbados knew that that was going to be an excellent presentation, and you didn't let us down. We are so immensely proud of you, Maria.
Keep
it up. Keep studying your work. I know you want to be a doctor at some point, but your heart is in the right place still with the environment and climate change. Don't lose that passion, Maria. Don't lose it.
Thank you.
But thank you for coming in this morning with us. And I wish you a great day at school. I hope the whole school body is welcoming you when you get there today. That there's a whole ring of students waiting to let you walk through, like the Princess of Barbados. And we're very proud of you. Bako says this young lady is really awesome. So that's, he's a Barbadian overseas.
Wow.
Estelita Piles says, blessings on you, Maria. You're very inspired and inspiring. Sandra Thomas says, wow, Maria is just awesome. Very proud of her at age 15. People are behind you, Maria. And don't let that scare you. We're behind you because we support you. We want to catch you. If you should fall or trip, we're here with you. So don't ever lose your enthusiasm, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Maria Marshall, our climate activist, our star in the making indeed. And now you know her name, and now you see her face, and now you know her philosophy. Let's continue to support her indeed. All the best, Maria. You're welcome. Morning Barbados comes back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
6 minutes to go. Look at the time, it's going so quickly to 8 o'clock. And so another young lady I want to share with you now. She's one we know well. We had her on Morning Barbados a few years ago when we were doing things virtually. And she's an artist. She's not even 11 years old yet, I don't think. But she is such an inspiration. Her father works with us. And so he brings her into the office from time to time. So I get a chance to tease her, as Pearson Boyne often would. And so she has, what I love about her is her pluck to answer me back. And so we have such wonderful conversations. Her name is Melissa Eiffel. Now, Melissa Eiffel was chosen to be the one to declare open this year's Holton Festival. And she delivered very well. You want to see? Take a look.
And Melissa has been given the task to declare this festival open officially for 2025. Could you make some noise for Melissa?
Barbados. Good evening to all our esteemed guests, government officials, community leaders, parents, teachers, my fellow students, and everyone gathered here today. It is with great pride and gratitude that I stand before you to officially open the Holton Festival 2025. This festival is not just an event, it's a celebration of our history, our culture, and our future. It connects us to our roots and honors the strength of those who came before us. For many years, the Holton Festival has given young people like me a platform to be seen, heard, and share our visions for the future. Thank you for recognizing that we, the youth, are not just the future. We are shaping our world today. However, we need more than one event to be heard. We need consistent support, investment, and guidance to realize our potential. We need the tools to succeed, not just opportunities for celebration, but opportunities for real change. This festival's theme, the element of nature. We gather, we celebrate, highlights how interconnected we are. Just like the earth, water, air, and fire, we depend on each other to thrive. But just like nature, the youth need nurturing. But just like nature, the youth need nurturing. If we neglect the land, it becomes barren. If we neglect the ocean, it becomes lifeless. And if we neglect our youth, we risk losing our future. The support of our mentors, parents, and leaders is crucial. Just as a bird nurtures its young before they take flight, we need guidance to soar. When we are ready, we will rise with strength to carry our nation forward. We are calling for lasting change. We need real opportunities to succeed in education, entrepreneurship, the arts, and more. We need safe spaces to grow, mentorship to guide us, and parents who believe in us, even when we stumble. We don't just want to see professionals like lawyers or judges when things go wrong. We need them before that. We need leaders and mentors who invest in us from the beginning, guiding us to success. To my fellow youth, we must take ownership of our actions and create the future we want. We are just not waiting for opportunities to find us, we are making them. As we celebrate this festival, let it be a reminder that we are ready to face today's challenges and make our mark. But we need your help, your belief in us, every step of the way. Before I close, I want to extend a warm welcome to our visitors. We hope you experience the warmth of our people, the beauty of our island, and the rhythm of our culture. Enjoy the festival. Buy local and bring a friend next year. This is a paradise. It is a paradise. It's pure vibes, 100% Bajan. Let this festival be the beginning of a new chapter where the youth are no longer overlooked, but embraced as leaders, creators, and change makers. Let us gather, celebrate our heritage, and unite to create a future where we all thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to declare the Holton Festival 2025 officially open. Wishing you all the best Holton Festival ever. I am Melissa Eiffel, a student of the St. Albans Primary School. Thank you.
Well done, Melissa. Well done. This old boy is so very proud of you. Next time I see you, look out. Well, that's it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for keeping us company. Our little crew says thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.